So hey guys, my name is Aman Mileva and I'm from IIC department. We're in the US and 1VE21IS003. Let's get started with today's topic. Today's topic is based on conceptual data modeling using entities and relationship in DBMS. Entity types, definition and characteristics. Entity types are fundamental building blocks of a data model. They represent real world objects such as people, place, or things that are of interest to the organization. Each entity type has a unique name and set of attributes that describes the property of the characteristic of the property and characteristic of the objects it represents. So characteristics can be of various unique types, and some of them are unique names, attributes, and instances. Unique name is used to have a distinct name that the identifier of the model can be called with. Attributes are entity type have attributes that describe the property and characteristics of the object they represent, and instances are entity types can have multiple instances, each representing a unique object or occurrence in the real world. Entity set. Entity set are a fundamental concept of conceptual data modeling. They are collections of similar entities that represent a category or class of objects. Entity sets are closely related to entity types, and entity types define the common characteristics and properties of a group of entity. An entity set, on the other hand, is an actual collection of entities that belong to a specific entity type. For example, consider an entity type called employee. The entity set for this entity type would be the collection of all employees in the organization. Attributes. Attributes play a crucial role in data modeling as they represent the properties and characteristics of an entity. They provide detailed information from the entity and help in defining its structure and behavior. The different types of attributes that are used in data modeling includes simple attribute, composite attribute, single valued attributes, multi-valued attributes, and derived attributes. Roles. Roles in data modeling define the participation of an entity in a relationship. They specify the function or purpose that the entity plays in a relationship. Each role represents a different perspective or responsibility of an entity in the relationship. Roles are significant in data modeling as they help to define the behavior and interaction between entities in a relationship. They provide a clear understanding of the role and responsibilities of each entity in a relationship, making it easier to analyze and interpret the data model. Structural constraints. Structural constraints play a crucial role in data modeling as they define the rule and restrictions on the relationship between entities, which is very important. Their constraints ensure data integrity and enforces the consistency and validity of the data. Let's explore the different types of structural constraints and their impact on the data modeling. Cardinal constraint specifies the number of instances of one entity that can be associated with instances of another entity, determines the relationship between entities, and helps define the degree of association. Participation constraint specifies whether an entity must participate in a relationship or if it is optional. Ensure the presence or absence of entities in a relationship affecting data completeness. Key constraints defines the uniqueness of an attribute for combination of attributes within an entity set. Ensures data integrity by preventing duplicate or null values in key attributes. Referential integrity constraints. Referential integrity constraint ensures that relationships between entities are valid and consistent, maintains the integrity of data by enforcing the existence of related entities. Domain constraint defines the valid region of values for an attribute. restricts the value that can be assigned to an attribute, ensuring data's accuracy and consistency. Weak type entities. Weak entity types are entities that depend on a strong entity of their existence. They cannot exist without the presence of a strong entity. Weak entity have a partial key that is used to identify them, but this key is not sufficient to uniquely identify them on its own. Instead, the partial key is combined with the key of a strong entity to form a composite key that uniquely identifies the weak entity. The relationship between a weak entity and a strong entity is called an identifying relationship. The strong entity is referred to as an identifying or owner entity, while the weak entity is referred to as the dependent or weak entity. The identifying relationship indicates that the weak entity is dependent on the strong entity for its existence. ER diagram. ER diagram, components of ER diagram, entities, attributes, relationship, and cardinality. Key constraints and weak entity types. An example for ER diagrams is this university diagram here, where we have login, where if a person is where you check if the person belongs from this college or university or no, and then as soon as you log in, you take him to the users section where he has to enter his where you check all his user data, and through user data where you get to know that what are his roles and what permission does this person have. After this, from user you can go to the manage section where you get to know if if he is a student, what uh what is his student ID, what is his student permissions, what is his number, address, and then you check for what course has he applied for. Now, in the course, you get to know like which department of the college is he studying at, what are his permissions over there, is he owner of a club or no, something like that. But if he's not a student, then you check if he's here for registration. This is just a simple ER diagram to check if the student belongs to the college or is he here to get an admission in the college. We've gone through the example of university course relations or registration system, and then now we go for relationships, enrollment. In that diagram itself, you can see that connects a student with a course that they are enrolled. It includes the ID, student ID and course ID has foreign keys. Then there's teaching, infrastructure courses they are teaching and belongs to. Connects to the course department. It includes the course ID and the department ID has foreign keys. And the key constraints here are primary keys are the student ID. Foreign keys here are enroll which foreign keys establish a relationship between entities. For example, the student ID in the enrollment relationship is a foreign key referencing the student entity. And unique constraints are certain attributes may have unique constraints, meaning that values must be unique within the entities. For example, the course ID in the course entity must be unique. So this is it for today, guys. Thank you.